Hey everyone, welcome back to Streetball AllStars. Today I just want to share with you guys some of the personal experiments that I've done on the game and share just how effective or ineffective maybe they have been. So let's get into it. Alright, so the first one I want to talk about is of course Max Block Ranger. And to put it simply, this build definitely effective, okay? This build I discovered after I just, I wanted to block as far as I could with Ranger, and I discovered this build, and man, has this experiment been not only effective, but very fun. So I give this experiment a massive success, especially since, this is Ranger. I know Malik can block further, I know Alto can block almost just as far, but, a success is still a success and I'll take it. So this is one of actually my later experiments, Max Block Ranger. Oh, I'm lagging. It's one of my later experiments, but I can assure you this experiment is very, very much successful. So I pretty much just maxed out block for Ranger, and that's one of the experiments that really did become very successful in my opinion. So yeah, one of the experiments that I did, that I've made in my entirety of playing SBA, is Max Block Ranger. Now, another character you guys should be familiar with that I really love, it's my favorite character in the game, and the favorite build that I have is Speed Nikolai. It's very effective. The only reason I haven't been using it as much is because on my main account, it is max speed on my main account, but I don't have the tough guy affix yet for this set. Once I get that, I'm definitely going to be using this Nikolai a lot. But either way, this Nikolai, very amazing. Very, very good. This Nikolai build is very effective, especially if you have a tough guy, since you can still help on dunks. Against dunkers, you can still block them, you can still be effective. But yeah, this build, very, very good. Speed Nikolai. This experiment is actually one of the earlier ones that I've made, and it's very much effective. It is. You can shot down shooters really well with this. He's the best shot down character in the entire game. If you want to lock down characters, Speed Nikolai, especially shooters by the way, Speed Nikolai is the character that you're gonna want to use. And yes, like I said before, this is 100% effective. Speed Nikolai, one of the best experiments that I've made, because it worked really, really well. So yeah, Speed Nikolai, one of my personal experiments, and like I've said, very effective. Next up in my experiment list is Max Jump Zachary. Now this build, I wouldn't say is the most effective of all builds that you can use for Zach. It's definitely not the most effective, but I can assure you this build is very fun to use. Very, very fun to use, since you can do a lot of crazy stuff with this. In fact, let me show you, so you can already dunk from that far, right? But I want to show you just how long his meteor dunk can be if you use max jump for Zachary. Now, even this build, this isn't even really max jump yet. I don't actually have Randy yet and Reno. I don't have those guys, so I'm missing just a little bit more jump. But as you can see, it's very effective. You can do a lot of crazy stuff with this. It's not the most effective. Again, I'd say power build is still way more effective than this, but it still is pretty effective if you know what you're doing, and most importantly, it's very fun. It actually is. I enjoy using Zachary like this, even though I hate dunkers. You guys know, I hate dunkers. I'm not really a fan of using them. I just don't see the fun, really. But if we're talking about... Whoa. Oops. I did that wrong. But yeah, if we're talking about just how fun a dunker is, I really do recommend that you make a jump build Zach, because man, it really is fun how much you can do with this character. It really is. It's a very fun way to actually play Zachary. And so, yeah, this is another one of my experiments that I've done on SBA. Look at this. Yeah, that's just really fun. So, yeah, Max Jump Zach, one of my experiments. Alright, next up on our list is my Max Steel White build. And I'm not gonna lie, it still is effective. I'd say it still is pretty effective, especially against dunkers or high tier dunkers, where it's not really easy to actually get steals using proactive intercept, but it still is inconsistent. You find yourself getting 1 steal per game, and then suddenly it's followed up by 3 steals in just 1 game, and then suddenly that's followed up by 8 games in a row where you don't get a single steal. It's very jumpy. You really are not going to get the consistency that you want with intercepts, even if you do Max Steel White, and even if you do get his affixes, but it still is very fun. It's still actually very fun to play White, to use him as a Max Steel build, and you're just gonna pray that you're gonna get intercepts. It still is a fun way to play White, and I still do recommend it. But yeah, the only thing that I do want from the devs here is give White a little bit more intercept power, since it's only fair with how broken some of the newer characters are. But yeah, Max Steel White, one of my experiments that I'd say is still pretty effective, but just too inconsistent to really be the most effective. Still, I do recommend that you do it because of how fun it is to play like this, just praying for an intercept. I think it's a really, really good build still. Very fun. Right, lastly, I want to talk to you guys about my current experiment, Max Support Emma. This is currently the one that I'm working on, that I'm looking at if it's effective or not, and so far it has actually been pretty gosh darn effective. So what the idea is around Max Support Emma is her screen. Now I actually do want to do it with Butterball as well, but since Butterball is a limited character, I don't really have any access to his skins, and my dice are pretty limited right now. But yeah, Emma is what I'm working on right now, and as you can see here, her skillful screen, I'm trying to get a wonderful skillful screen. I do want to get that orange affix so that I can get more boost, and I also do have protector, which boosts your screens for your teammates, that if you hit somebody with it, they're gonna get a 10% accuracy boost. And we also actually have Screen Expert here, which increases her screening range even more. So this is why I'm actually experimenting on Emma. I want to see just how effective you are at defending or helping out your teammates on offense by using these skills, especially skillful screen. And again, so far I've actually have seen some success with this. I have been boosting my teammates quite effectively, especially if they're wide open. They pretty much sink every single one of their shots. So yeah, this is the current experiment that I have, and I'm having some success with it. So if you are trying to do another strat, I do recommend this as well. It is pretty useful and it's pretty effective, and it just makes you such a great team player. But anyways guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it's been helpful, that you've learned some new things. I hope that you've been entertained by it somehow, and I'll catch you on the next one. Renoa.